Welcome back. Welcome back to me. I was on vacation and I posted one video a week. So thanks for sticking with me. And thank you to everybody who wished me a happy birthday. That was so nice. I had such a nice time on my cruise. But this video is the YNAB tag. I was tagged by Brandy and it's 13 questions about my journey with YNAB. If you're unfamiliar with YNAB, it is zero-based budgeting. I don't know if you describe it as a piece of software or not. You access it from like online and there's an app, there's an app for everything, but it's basically like cashless envelopes. So if you were to get paid and you go to the ATM, withdraw your money, put it in an envelope, and the money in that envelope is what you use for that expense. Before we get into that though, let me address the elephant in the room because I turned on my camera and I was like, oh look, the cabinet's open, the microwave's open, the other cabinet's open. I live alone, okay? This is how I live. If I want the cabinet open, the cabinet will be open. If I want it closed, it will be closed. That's the beauty of living alone. So sorry if that triggers you, but you don't live here, you don't pay the bills. So I get to do as I please. So 13 questions, and I will put timestamps in the description box in case you want to jump to a specific question. The first question is, how did you discover YNAB? I don't really know how I discovered YNAB. As a child, my father attempted to instill good habits, and he would always say, save 10% of every dollar you make. I didn't really do that, but the idea of managing your money, budgeting is not completely foreign to me. Of course, I live in America. There is no financial education in school, so it's not something that I learned in school, but the idea of having a plan for your money, saving, maybe not budgeting so much, but saving has always been, somewhere in there. I do know that in 2018 in January, I searched my Gmail and that's when I first signed up for YNAB. Back then they had a 3-month trial. So I did the 3-month trial, and before the trial was up, I realized that I didn't really have money saved for it to subscribe for the year. Side note, it was only $83.99 a year back then. Wow, times have changed. So I emailed them asking for an extension. They gave me an extension that expired in April. And so I was granted one more month of a free trial. Second question, what made you actually sign up and commit? I think probably their good customer service and giving me that extra month trial is what made me actually sign up and commit, because I did end up signing up for a year-long subscription when my trial and extension ran out. And I wouldn't say that, unfortunately, that I committed though. That came really the end of last year, me actually committing. But I think me signing up was really due to the good customer service. And because I saw that the philosophy around it or the idea of YNAB, I really resonated with. You only spend the money you have. I know a lot of budgeting is like you think about what you're going to get and then you spend that money, but like you never know what could happen. You might have a whole month's worth of shifts planned, but if you break your leg and you can't go to work, well then you ain't got no money coming in, or you have different money coming in. So the way YNAB does it really resonated with me, and that's kind of what made me stick to that rather than any of the other ways that you could budget your money. Third question is, how long have you been using YNAB? So me being me, if you've been here for any amount of time, I'm always looking for a deal. So when it was time to renew after my year subscription was up, I realized that they had a free year if you were a student. At this point, I was taking prerequisites for dental hygiene school and I was a student. So I emailed them asking, was I eligible for the free year? They said I was. So I ended up getting a free year-long subscription. I didn't sign up for that subscription though until June of that year. So that was from 2019 to 2020. And I really will unfortunately say that I really wasn't using the subscription at that time. Throughout 2018, 2019, 2020, I really don't think I ever used it. I just had it, and that's really a shame because I spent the subscription fee on it for that whole year, which is unfortunate. But somehow, I don't know how, I was able to get another trial. This time it was only a 34-day trial. And the way the subscriptions work with YNAB is when you subscribe with somebody's link, they get a free month and you get a free month if you sign up for a subscription. That goes the same with me. I have a link in the description box. If you want to sign up for YNAB, you will get a free month when you subscribe. So my subscription, my free trial was set to expire in April of 2025, and I wanted that free extra month. So I went ahead and subscribed for a year. And this subscription, the one that ended in April 2025, I was using it a little bit. I was in my last semester of dental hygiene school, and it was more of just a tracking app. I was pretty much just tracking my spending with YNAB, which is not how you're supposed to use it. But I knew that I was about to graduate as a dental hygienist and I was going to start making a lot more money. And I know I needed to have a plan because I'm very much, money burns a hole in my pocket. So if I don't have a plan, I knew that I would just blow my money. And I knew that YNAB would provide me kind of that structure that I needed to make sure that I wasn't just blowing through all my money constantly and just never having anything to show for it. And I really, really am glad that I finally did commit to YNAB, even though it took me years and years to do so. It really took me until December of last year, about 6 months ago, before I really started using YNAB consistently. That's when I started posting my YNAB budget with me or payday routine videos. You can check out my playlist here if you happen to have just found me now and you're new. Every single time I've gotten paid, I have posted a budget with me video, a payday routine. So that is what really made me commit, is sitting down and making these videos, because I know that it's expected, but also, like I said, I just knew that it would be a really good way to get control of my money. And I'm really proud of the fact that I've been tracking consistently for 6 months now. Fourth question is, how has YNAB changed my relationship with money? First of all, I don't believe you can have a relationship with money. Money is an object. I think you have relationships with people. I think the root of the question is, how has YNAB changed how I interact with money? And as was the plan, I don't just spend every dollar I get. And it might seem like I spend every dollar I get, but it's not the truth. When I look at my bank account now, I see that I have over $6,000 just in my main account, which is a savings account. I posted another video also that I'll link above about why I use a savings account rather than a checking account. Long story short, I get a way better interest rate on my savings account. But I have also over $3,000 in each my Roth IRA and my emergency fund. So I don't think I've ever had over $10,000 just in my accounts. Like, that hasn't been a thing. Yes, when you count my 401k that I cashed out to go to dental hygiene school, which I also posted a video about that I'll link above, I did have, I think, 40 something thousand dollars in that account, but I wasn't looking at that account. I don't really count that. But just like liquid money, I would say, because, when you have a 401k, yes, you can take a 401k loan, but you don't really have that money. Maybe you can withdraw them. I don't think you can withdraw the money you put in a 401k because it happens before tax or something like that. But the way Roth IRAs work, if you don't know, by the way, is you can take out the money you've put in a Roth IRA, not the money that you've gained from the market, but the money you've put in, you can take it out with no penalty because you put it in after you've paid taxes on it. So that's not what this video is about, but I've never been able to have $10,000 of money. I would kind of say liquid, right? Like, I feel like my Roth is liquid. If I want it, I can withdraw it. It's not a problem. And so while I do feel like I spend a lot of money and I feel like kind of broke, it's YNAB broke. It's every dollar has a job. It's not like I don't have money. Like, I do have money. If something were to happen, I have money. I have a way to get myself out of any hole that might appear. Okay, next question. How many categories do you have altogether? Now this one, yikes. I have, I counted 65 categories, but there's actually some more, but we'll say 65 categories that I kind of like. Most of them I'm would like to have a plan to regularly or semi-regularly contribute to. Things like rent, cell phone bill, streaming, fun money, household goods, personal care, things of that nature. There are some in there, though, that need to be archived, hidden, that I'm not using. For example, I just came back from an MSC cruise and I still have my cruise fund in there. I have a fund for gifts. I don't really buy anybody gifts. I mean, nobody buys me gifts, so we're even. I have one that's called Just Leave. It's under my travel category group. And it's like, sometimes I would have like $200 in there, which is so pointless because where I'm going for $200, I'm not going nowhere for $200. So some of these things I don't really contribute to and they should be hidden. 65 is like the number of categories I have, which kind of a lot. Like, I really probably need to cull that. It's just kind of excessive for sure. But then I have another 14 categories, which is one category kind of broken down. For example, one of my Wish Farm items, which we'll talk about in a second, is my sewing setup. But for sewing, there are 14 different kind of like line items or things, I guess you could call it, that fall under that. So there's 14 categories for that. I also have 13 items in my wish list, which is where items go that I want to save for in the future, but they're not in the Wish Farm. The difference between a wish list and a Wish Farm and YNAB, your wish list is like everything that you want. Wish Farm are those few things that you're actively cultivating, that you're actually saving towards. So I have 14 items that can be moved into my Wish Farm at any given time. And then I have 50 categories in my hidden section, which are mostly or a lot of things that I'm actually done with. I know I saw my jurisprudence exam that I had, a test I had to take to be a dental hygienist, my MSC hotel that I just paid for, the flight to go on my cruise, stuff like that. But then there's also, I believe, a category group called dog. And then underneath the category of dog, there are the items that I would need when I get a dog, like the adoption fee, toys, crates, whatever, anything you would need to have a dog. So some of those hidden items are going to come back into the budget at some point. Some of them are totally done. And yeah, so quite a bit, but I'm not looking at those every day, every month. Next question is, what category gets the most spending each month? Probably not surprising, I spend the most money on rent. I believe probably most Americans do. Maybe it's like that in other countries as well. But underneath rent, the next amount of spending is fund money. Fund money gets about 7% of my spending, or it has gotten 7% of my spending from May 2025, which is when I did this fresh start, up until June 2026, which I think is pretty fair. But I do have to always remember, I had a commenter say that I do spend a lot of money on fund money, which another way to look at it would be guilt-free spending, that I'm not categorizing as fund money. For example, my cruise, that wasn't categorized as fund money because it just works better for me to not, or it has worked better for me. Maybe that's not what I want to do in the future going forward always, but I haven't always categorized everything like that. You know what I'm just thinking? Maybe I should do like a category group of fund money and then put things underneath there that are all my fund money so I can have a better understanding of things. And now would be a really great time to do so because like I just mentioned, I did this fresh start in May of 2025 and it's only June. Granted, we are just days away from July, but it would kind of like be a nice way to see really, it's been a year, you're settled in, how does that work? So let me know down in the comments, would you be interested in me kind of rejiggering and trying to figure out exactly how much I spend on fund money? If you want to see that, let me know, leave me a comment, like the video so I'll know, and we might go through and try to rearrange things to get a real idea of how things are looking. Next question. What is your most unexpected or unusual category? I kind of had a little trouble with this one. I don't necessarily know that it's unusual or unexpected, but I think the answer might be oops, I fucked up. Oops, I fucked up is basically a category where I intend to put a certain amount of money every month. So that way, when I build my budget and I've underfunded an area, I can go to oops, I fucked up and get the money from there and reallocate it in the budget. I think a lot of people tend to build their budgets, and when something doesn't go the way that they want it to go or think it's going to go, they're kind of like, oops, where do I get the money from? Because all the money has purpose. And for YNAB, you know, rolling with the punches is part of one of the tenets, but I would like to leave everything else alone because I had a plan when I did it, and I would like to just grab from oops, I fucked up. Now, I'm not doing that, but I hope to get there one day, and I hope to, when I have overspending, the idea obviously is to have no overspending, but when I do have overspending, I would like to go to oops, I fucked up and take the money from there and put it to the overspending instead of having to, you know, pilfer my other categories and get the money from there, because it just creates more problems down the line. But another question for you, what do you think my most unexpected or unusual category is? Let me know down in the comments. Maybe there's something that you saw and thought, wow, that's pretty unexpected or unusual, and I'm just not thinking of it. Next question is, which of the YNAB questions is your favorite and why? It will be the question that they list first. What does this money need to do before I'm paid again? Assign every dollar you have to one of your expense categories to create a proactive plan for intentional spending. So this is really the main reason that I use YNAB. And I think about this every single time I get my paycheck. I say, I got paid this much today, and how much do I need to take from this paycheck to pay for this bill? For example, if my rent is $1,000 and I have $500 already set aside and I have the paycheck that I just got paid and the next one coming in, I know that I need to spend $250 from each paycheck because I already have 500, I need 500 more. So I know that this money needs to be half towards my rent. Yes, you could probably look at it and say, I could put all 500 towards the rent, but that's like getting into the weeds. We don't need to go that deep on it. The point is, I'm very intentional and I say, okay, what does this money need to do? I need to pay for half of my rent with this money that I have. So that is the one that I like the most because it really helps me be intentional and really know that everything is going to be taken care of when the bills come due. Next question we're going to answer very quickly. Are you a month ahead? The answer is sadly no. I spend way too much money to be a month ahead, but hopefully one day. Question number 10, what is in your wish farm? So I have 3 items. I separate my wish list items into sizes, small, medium, large, extra large, jumbo, I think. And each one kind of has like a amount and how long I'm supposed to be expected to pay for it. And basically I allow 3 items in my wish farm at one time, a small, medium, or a large, or if I want one of those bigger items, I can only have 2. So I have a small one is adjustable dumbbells. Those will cost me $270. The next item on my wish farm is my sewing setup, which is about $1,200. I'm thinking about ways that I can try to cut that maybe in half and kind of get like a bare bones like setup. Well, we'll see. And then the third item in my wish farm is ortho. I want to get braces. The total cost when I had my consultation last year was $5,100 and there is a $600 down payment. The goal is probably maybe to try to get those this year, but it really just depends. It's not like crucial. I have pretty straight teeth, but I just have like an anterior open bite. In the front, my teeth don't meet, and I would like that to be closed and slight straightening. All right, next question. What's your most ambitious savings goal right now? I would say that would be Thailand for my 40th birthday. I just turned 38 a week ago. Yay, go me. And I always like to travel for my birthday. I wanted to go to Thailand this year, but it just wasn't in the cards. I couldn't save up enough money for it. I think it's probably gonna cost $10,000. I don't really know. I pulled that number out of thin air. I used to be a flight attendant. I was a flight attendant for over 11 years. My mom has been a flight attendant for my whole entire life. So I really don't have any context for how much a flight costs. But I think maybe it'll cost $10,000. Also because I'm not going to sit in the back. Like, I'm just not gonna do it all the way to Thailand for my birthday trip, like for 40th. It's just not happening. So I think probably a first class or business class flight to Thailand and back, and then the amount of time I want to spend there is going to cost $10,000. Could be 15, probably won't be less, but it could be more. I don't know. But that's the most ambitious savings goal right now, which really does mean that I'm going to have to, I don't even know. I gotta figure something out. What is your age of money number? My age of money is 57 days, which I was surprised about. If I understand age of money correctly, I don't really follow it too closely. I really only ever look when I'm filming a video and it seems pertinent. I believe it's like, how long does money sit in your account before you spend it? So if I get paid $1 today, I'm not spending it until 57 days later. So like, the older your money is, the better. You know, that's kind of the idea. And the very last question in this YNAB tag is, who do I tag next? So I'm gonna tag 2 people. The first person that I tag is Real Men Budget. He's been a subscriber for a while, and unfortunately we have not seen a YNAB video or any video from him in a few months. So I'm hoping that we'll see him come back, answer these questions, get back in the swing of things. And the second person that I'm tagging is NYC Teacher Off the Clock, AKA Yaz. She's my favorite subscriber. If you know, you know. And she just started making YouTube videos. So I thought, what better way than to have content for her video, be the YNAB tag. I know for me personally, I would love to learn more about her journey, and we can talk less in my comments and more in hers. So if you are not already subscribed, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.